4, 3, 2, 1.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point you realize you married into crazy. And that's what our show is all about. If your marriage or relationship is compassionate, real, accountable, zealous and yielding, or just plain crazy, Snooks and Lovey offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as they unpack this thing called marriage. Sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
Welcome back to another episode of the Married Into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
I'm Lovey. And for those of you that are new to the podcast, well, first, even before I get to you, for those of you that are coming back to the podcast, we want to say thank you because you have lots of choices. And for those of you that are new to the podcast, we welcome you as well. If you don't know already, we're a couple that's been married for 28 plus years.
Mm-hmm. But before you go in like that, I just wanted to say welcome back to us also.
Can I get the intros set up? Good Lord. Let them know who's talking to them first.
I said I was Snooks. You said you was Lovey.
Look, just so you know,
Anyway.
this is us all day long. We go back and forth. We've been married 28 plus years, and we've been through some things. And so this podcast is about all things marriage. Mm-hmm. And so we bring you guests like you've seen recently. We've got other couples that come on talking about their challenges, their ups, their downs, their triumphs, and their trials. Mm-hmm. But we also bring you subject matter experts. And then from time to time, we talk about contemporary issues as well as just some things that we're going through or that we've gone through and how we kind of go through it together, right? Mm-hmm. And we share that with you and we keep it real. Right. And Married Into Crazy is exactly what it sounds like.
Except for crazy is actually an acronym, and it stands for compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding.
Yes, sir. And so to tell you how crazy our life has been, when we met, we were forced to meet each other. It wasn't like we actually wanted to meet each other. We actually threw each other's numbers away multiple times. Mm-hmm. And then we were tricked, bamboozled. And so then once we were tricked into meeting each other, she fell in love with me approximately just a couple of weeks later, 2-3 weeks later.
Okay. Good.
And then I fell in love with her at first sight. But her ex-boyfriend broke into her home, attacked her, stabbed me through the heart. And I had to have 2 open heart surgeries. So our life started off as just being crazy. Yeah. The regular kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
And we made it through that. We had that whole Disney knight in shining armor. They survived. And then 4 years later,
I told him I wanted a divorce.
Yeah, that's when the podcast should just really end. We should just stop it like right there. Boom, done.
We never have a podcast.
But then we went through some stuff, right? But we figured it out through God's grace, lots of prayer. We decided to become that couple that we needed at that point. And so that's where this came from. That's where our coaching comes from. We received several certifications and, extreme execution coaching with Dr. Eric Thomas, who's a friend and a mentor. We've also got level 1, level 2 training with the Gottman Institute when it comes to couples therapy method. And hopefully soon, Snooks will be going through level 3 now that she has her MSW. So that's enough about us, right? It's not really about us. It's about the covenant. It's about you, what you're going through, what people that you know are going through. And hopefully this is going to be a resource for you. So what were you saying about us being back?
I was saying, welcome back to us. You're welcoming them, the people out there back. I said, welcome back to us too, because we were on vacation last couple of weeks. We did a tri-state vacation, right? Orlando, Virginia, and Texas. So
like Orlando's a state. She said Virginia's a state, Texas is a state, but she said Orlando, which is a city.
Oh, I sure did say that. Florida.
Look at me.
Virginia. Look at you.
Being nitpicky every now and then.
Well, normally your geography, that part.
I do know some of my states.
Yeah, anyway, so we headed out the beginning of July, basically, and went down to Orlando, Florida for my graduation. Finally, graduation. It was hotter than the dickens out there. The humidity was ridiculous. It was just nasty. I had a good time, though, while we were there. Then we left from there, went to Virginia, where Lovey's father's side of the family is from. And we had an amazing time with family. Unfortunately, there was, a sad component because Uncle Ernest, the day before we left, Uncle Ernest passed away. His uncle passed away. And it's crazy because we had just talked to him 2 days before that. He was looking forward to what's coming out. He was gathering all the family together. We had all these big plans. And then, boom, he passed away. But even within that, we still were able to connect with family, have a great time, went to Busch Gardens. Oh, good Lord. If y'all are out in that area, and if you have not gone to Busch Gardens in a while, please go to Busch Gardens. Please. We hadn't rode roller coasters in like 10 years, maybe.
Right.
It felt like that.
Busch Gardens, feel free to pay us. We're right here plugging you. Or give us like some passes for life or something. Oh my gosh.
It was so much fun. That was life, because we were with family too. So
it was with family. And then in the third leg, we went out to Dallas. As you know, some of you may know, I belong to a group called King's Accountability Group. Some phenomenal men around the world. We're an international group of men that stand up for each other. And we had our annual gathering in Dallas this year. It's usually in California. First time in Texas. And we went there and we're just coming together. We brought our queens with us and it was an amazing time. And we also had the opportunity to pour into some youth while we were there. So the Kings came together through some relationships and they brought some gentlemen, some young kids that are in foster homes, that are in some group homes. And we sat down with them. A lot of us were paired up with them and we've got some little partners now where we actually pour into them and just talk about life and help them get through some of the challenges that they're in. So
that's what's up.
It was a phenomenal time. And it felt like it was a working vacation, but it was a very impactful and worthwhile vacation.
Yeah. I mean, we were gone for 12 days.
12 days.
Yeah. I don't know that we've been away from home for that long in one setting,
But some crazy stuff happened out in the world too.
Yeah.
I know that right before we left, and we didn't get a chance to, I should say, an opportunity to talk about it. But did you see? Well, I know you saw it because we talked about it beforehand. But
was that before we left or after we left?
I think it was right before we left.
I don't remember, but yeah.
Talking about that whole thing that played out with the CEO of Astronomer.
Yeah.
Right. We talk about a lot of things as it impacts marriage.
The Coldgate.
What you call the Coldplaygate.
Coldplaygate.
Right. So you had infidelity that was caught on a jumbotron, and unfortunately, the internet is still the undisputed king. It has never been beaten because so many memes, AI got a hold of it. People have been doing some crazy stuff. They made a musical out of it. It's just wild. But when it's all said and done, as a matter of fact, the CEO allegedly is suing Coldplay for broadcasting it and it becoming what it is, so that his privacy was invaded, even though they were in a public space.
I'm like, can you
and
expect
that jumbotron
privacy?
I don't know. But the question is, I thought it would be worthwhile to have the discussion about what happens when your infidelity is actually put on blast like that.
Well, so for me, I mean, just thinking about what you were saying about the internet and the memes and stuff like that. I think that we forget about the other person on the other side of it. So these two individuals that were caught on the jumbotron, I don't know their names, but they were married to different people. And while, the world is pointing fingers at them and making fun of them or whatever, forget that she had a husband, he had a wife
and kids
and kids. So I feel like as a society, we should also have a little bit more integrity when we're talking about these things, because there are people that are affected on the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? So the kids got to go to school with the memes about their parents and stuff like that. That's hurtful to those kids. The spouses on the other side, that's hurtful. And it just made me think about that when you said that, just right now about
the memes and all
about
that.
the memes and and
The musical.
the
and
musical.
AI
Yeah.
and-
I mean, stuff like that. It's like, yeah, we get so involved in it and it's like, oh my gosh. And, we're sucked in, but we forget
the
that,
human side of it.
yeah, hello, human kindness, not for those people, but for the people that they're connected to, because those people were very innocent. So I just feel like maybe people should take a pause before we. And now, if we're doing it in the comfort of our homes and we're making fun of them or whatever, no one is going to know that, because that's between us. That's in our home. But once it can be affected, the kids are affected, the other spouses are affected. They're already hurt by the situation, but now the whole world is laughing, or however many people are laughing at. And kids and other people are cruel. They're going to say something to you. Oh, your dad, or oh, your mom, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I feel like you're going down a different path than I originally intended. But,
Well, like I said, it just, when you said that, it just dawned on me like, hey, wait a minute. There are other people. I mean, we could still go down the path that you wanted to go on,
No.
but I just wanted to say something about that.
Well, I mean, because there's collateral damage, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
do people really think about the collateral damage?
Well, no
Everybody
one
wants
thought
to
of
point the
it.
finger at and make all the fun of the individuals that were there. And there was even some mention of the other person that was caught in that frame set. And they were saying, oh, she must be an employee as well, but she wasn't. But anyway, let's go down that path, though. Let's talk about the repercussions of the fallout.
The collateral damage.
The collateral damage that goes, because, when we talk about it, people want to point a finger at somebody and damn them and get biblical and talk about, what they should and shouldn't do, get into the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not commit adultery, and really get into that. And they're looking at the individuals that are the offenders. Mm-hmm. But then we don't necessarily, then there's always like, oh, I feel bad for the wife. And then, but they keep it moving. Or I feel bad for the husband, or whatever, or I feel bad for the children. It must be horrible. But then they go back to talking about the offenders. Mm-hmm. So maybe we should put a face to, not a face, but but maybe put some substance to the ripple effect.
Have some dignity. I feel like that, of whatever the ripple effect is. There should be an order of some dignity or something. Just because, like I said, just hearing about that, the musical, I didn't know about a musical thing or whatever.
It was just AI, and they.
But even still, I mean, if you got kids, more than likely they have phones, and more than likely they have whatever social media, and so that is there in their faces. So just having a little bit of dignity and empathy for the others that are involved. Slander them. I won't say slander them, but oh yeah, they're bad people because they hurt someone else. And you just happen to do it in front of the whole world. First of all, how you going to try to sue Coldplay or whoever it is when you are literally holding each other, standing up? And the jumbotrons and all that stuff, they go around and take pictures and stuff like
looking
that.
For a kiss cam and all that.
Yeah, whatever. Exactly. So if you knew that about a kiss cam, sit your butt down.
Yeah, I mean, okay, but now you're getting away from the
No,
ripple
I know,
effect.
but okay, dang, I can't express myself. But I'm just saying, because you talked about the privacy part of it. That just made me, I just wanted to get that out too, but go ahead.
No, it's just you're going down a path that I didn't really give much consideration to. And
I don't care. No.
I know you don't. No, but think about it. I mean, when you look at all this stuff that takes place, what do we do with those individuals? What do we do for when we talk about compassion and forgiveness and how do we bounce back from infidelity? We talk about building trust. We talk about getting into we like you and I, when we've coached couples, we've dealt with coaching people through infidelity, mm-hmm. through some challenges, through rebuilding trust and so forth. And more times than not, it's always about them. them two, rebuilding. So, when we talk about the way that the Gottman Institute teaches, we talk about building a sound relationship house. And there's 2 walls that are actually in there, one of which is trust. And when we're looking at that, we forget about talking about all the other rooms that are in that house. Because those rooms, it's a house that's occupied by, like you said, the children. So how do we move past that? Because how does a child look at the parent knowing that now it's on blast? So they have to go to school, and all the kids are cruel to begin with, for the most part, and so they're going to talk about you just because your socks are mismatched. Now your parents are mismatched.
Seriously.
And so we're asking that you guys give consideration to your actions before you do them. I mean, it's easier said than done. I know there's crime, let's call it a crime of passion. That was calculated, but.
You talking about what they did?
Yeah, what they did.
Yeah.
But the moment you see yourself going down that path, how do you stop yourself? How do you get yourself in a position to avert the crisis?
So who
No,
I mean, who are you talking about? The people that sell them or the actual offenders?
I'm thinking the offenders, because again, I'm thinking about the ripple effect, and I'm sorry if I'm talking in circles, but I'm thinking about the ripple effect and how do we avoid creating that ripple effect? How do we kind of like, it's like a movie when you go zoop, 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 and you try to like rewind it and get back to how do we save the kids? How do we save the spouse from the embarrassment? How do we nip it in the bud?
Don't cheat.
Well, don't cheat. I have no idea what was happening in that house. What led them to do, and I
But I'm saying that's the only sure way for there not to be a ripple effect. That's like, you ain't gonna get pregnant if you're abstaining from sex, right? Once
True.
you start having sex, there's a possibility. So the only way to make sure that there is no ripple effect when you're talking about infidelity or the collateral damage that happens in the home is you don't cheat. That's the only way, right?
That's so curt though to say don't cheat.
No,
And for some people, it's
but you
extremely
asked
easy.
that question.
No,
That's what
I
I'm
get it.
saying.
But I mean, we talk about how do you make sure that how do you change the fruit? You address the root. And so if the root is don't cheat, how do you ensure, like, if there's challenges, like let's say the soil is bad, it's lacking nutrients, and maybe some of those nutrients that are lacked are love, communication, intimacy. It's instead of nitrogen, potassium, all the things that go into traditional soil. But what if the soil for your relationship is lacking certain things? And so now but you go to your job and all of a sudden it's like, oh, the things that I'm lacking that I need to thrive, I'm finding at work with this individual. But I'm just saying, you start to recognize that. How do you stop that? How do you nip it in the bud? Rather than just saying, don't cheat, what are some things that I or you or another person starts to, how do you catch that? Like, oh my God, I'm starting to be attracted. I'm starting to feel like the way I want to feel at home, I'm feeling here.
Okay.
What do I do about that?
So, Sherelle, everything I miss at home. First of all, I mean, I don't mean it to be curt or anything like that, because
That's like being Nancy Reagan. Oh,
no,
just say no.
Just say no that's totally different from.
But that's what you're saying. Just don't cheat. Just say no. Don't do drugs. Just say no.
No,
Don't cheat.
You cannot compare doing drugs to infidelity. Are you kidding me right now? You cannot, because the people who were doing drugs or selling drugs, right? They were either doing it for a way of life
We're not
because
talking
they
about
needed
the
money.
people selling. We're talking about people doing.
Okay, that's a disease. They're hooked on it. That's a disease, chemical, stuff like that. Now you're saying there's the nutrients are lacking at home. And then you come and you go to your job and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Everything that they're saying is what I'm missing at home. So let me go, and of course I'm going to automatically be attracted to that. I get that part. But there has to be some part of some type of willpower, some type of self-control, some type of accountability, because I know that though I'm attracted to that, what I'm doing is wrong. And I'm in my selfish mode because all I'm thinking about is myself. I'm not thinking about the innocent people at home. So there's still personal accountability, personal responsibility, be it curt or not. Once you cross that line, you've crossed that line, right?
Agreed.
Okay, so either you do or you don't. If you start feeling yourself getting attracted or what have you, some part of you, I would hope that some part of you was like, this is not good. I better remove myself from this equation because I know that I am tempted. There's I don't know, I just have to say it, a hymnal. The first line says, yield not to temptation, for yielding is sin. So once I continue to be in the presence of that person, I am yielding. I am making it easier for myself to fall into that trap. So if I know that, let me go over here. I might need to be on a different committee. I might need to, whatever it is.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for. See, that's what I'm getting at. What are the practical steps, the things that a person can do to ensure, or at least create some boundaries by which they can make sure, like, okay, you know what? Let me fix this. Let me do, what steps can I take? Countermeasures can I put in place to ensure that I don't go there? I feel like I'm going there and I need to stop it.
So I need to get my house together. I think that's the number one thing right there is what work are we doing at home?
Okay, for the last 12 years, or I'm just
I feel you. I promise you.
I've been working on it. We've been going to counseling, this, that, and the other.
And that's not working,
it's just
blah,
not
blah,
working,
blah. Okay. So if that is the case, if you've been doing all this and it's just not working, then you have to make a decision on whether you want to continue doing all this and it not working, continue to not working, or say, you know what, at some point I have to draw the line. Because if I'm thinking about myself, I want some happiness, I want some whatever, take care of this situation first before you start diving into another one. So I said this to my older brother. If you are not, you don't play with someone else's heart, because that's when people get hurt. That's why they're called crimes of passion or whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if the problem is at home and you're not able to fix it, and you come to the conclusion that it's just not going to be fixed, it's unfixable, we can't, whatever, then remove yourself from the home, still have a mode of integrity, and remove yourself from that. So if you out and about with homegirl at the Coldplay or whatever, I'm not at home no more. My wife is not suspecting or expecting me to be, what is the word I'm looking for? Be not trustworthy, but my wife is not expecting me to be faithful, because she already knows I'm moving on. Now, when what do you mean? I'm blindsided. I wish I would see you on social media on a jumbotron. Please. But how hurtful is that? Because that was very selfish. That was very selfish of them to do that. Now, if you're going to cheat, and I'm not saying that this is better, if you're going to do it and you're going to be discreet about it, then the only thing that is hurting is, your character is a flaw or whatever. But now, not just your character is a flaw, your kids are affected, your wife is affected, all these other things. And then the other part is too, is almost like when things like that happen, because now you on blast, what if I want to forgive you, but now I'm not probably going to forgive you because
I look like Boo Boo the Clown
or whatever, because I'm worried about what other people are going to say about me or to me, or what they're going to, you know what I'm saying? So now we have all this other stuff going
Well,
on.
I mean, we're human beings. And as much as somebody wants to put things, because forgiveness is a very personal thing.
It is.
It's a very personal thing. And when it's done in the privacy.
You talking about the infidelity or whatever the wrong was?
Right, exactly. Yeah, whatever the wrong was. You know, and it can just be infidelity. It could be like somebody had a drinking problem. Somebody had a gambling problem.
Someone's abusive.
Somebody's abusive or whatever. If it's done to the point where it's not on blast, the path to forgiveness, I believe, is a lot easier to tread because there's no additional set of, or I should say that the amount of eyes that are on my path, there's less judgment.
Case in point, everybody, remember years ago, Beyonce and what's his name? Jay-Z. And when it came out that Jay-Z had cheated, and people were just up in arms and, you know, expecting Beyonce should left him.
Went off on him in the elevator?
I mean, I guess that's why she went off on him in the elevator. But, you know, the expectation from other people was that Beyonce leave him. And there was a lot of bad talk about her because she didn't do what everyone else wanted her to do. But the question is, would you have done that to the other people? I know so many people that have had their hearts broken because their partner cheated, and they didn't leave. I'm not knocking anybody for whatever, because everyone has their own personal reasons for staying. But people were up in arms. Some were up in arms that she didn't leave.
I remember that.
So you feel, I want to say you, think of, now she has quote unquote star power, right? People love her, people, whatever. Now you have this regular Betty Sue, whatever her name is, and there's this big infidelity thing that just blew up. And what is the expectation going to be for her? To go somewhere, to leave. What kind of flack is she going to get?
Immediately,
maybe.
You know, the chatter was all about, she about to be rich. She's now co-CEO. I mean, like now the company belongs to her. Or they're like divorce lawyer galore. You know, there were so many things that people jump to. But again, I want to bring it back to how do we help people, A, identify when they're going down that path, and B, to avert the crisis. And I know you said, you know, there is a component of just say no, and I get that. But another component of it is, I believe, is where was this man's, and the other woman, where was their accountability?
Do you mean like their support team or whatever, or accountability, their inner accountability for their person, or like their outside influences?
Outside influence. I know for a fact that my best friends, and I don't know, I mean, maybe I have a hard time believing that somebody like that, somebody in his camp didn't know.
Did or did not?
Did not know that he was kicking it with old girl.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure that, I mean, just benefit of the doubt, I'm sure there were some people who did not know.
That did not know.
Right.
But I'm sure there's some people that did know.
That did know.
And for those people that did know, and I always wonder, like, for every person that I've ever known that has ever been in a situation where they've cheated, somebody knew.
Mm-hmm.
And therein lies an opportunity for accountability. Somebody had an opportunity to yank on a leash, on a chain, on a, you know, that friendship chain, that friendship leash, to be like, yo, hey, you're out of line. Where was that accountability?
Well, you're assuming that did not happen. I mean, for the people that you do know that have cheated or whatever, did they always listen to their accountability person? The person that was like, you shouldn't do that.
Good point.
They're not thinking like, what are you talking about? I shouldn't do that. Oh, because I'm blah, 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 whatever. And I'm going to, before whatever the reasons are, like you said, the soil at home is tainted. So this is good soil. So I'm going to go with the good soil. I mean, they could have had those conversations. It really just comes down to the individual person. Doesn't matter about, why are you laughing?
Because I just had a thought. I'm like, my friends know me well. They know I'm a snitch. So, they're like, if you don't want somebody to know something, don't tell me.
They would want to tell.
Don't be like, I got something to tell you, but you can't tell my wife. I ain't the one.
Right. Don't tell me then.
I'm like, don't let me know, because if I hold it and you found out that I hold it, now I'm suspect. So I'm like that.
Well, that's assuming that you had the relationship with the wife or whatever anyway.
I don't got to have a relationship with the wife. I'm concerned about my relationship with my wife.
Oh, got you. Oh, got you. If one of your friends was cheating and you know that they were cheating and you didn't tell me, or
right, that part. I know we just did a heavy pivot, but
look, I'm like, wait, hold on.
No, because you talked, because I was saying with the accountability piece, and you said, what if, how do you know that a friend, that he didn't have that? How many people did you know that somebody didn't try and help that person course correct, but they just didn't listen to him? And I just started laughing because I was like, then they need a friend like me, because everybody that knows me knows that you can't tell me some mess like that and expect me not to just let the spouse know. No, I'm not going to tell the world. I'm not running to the news agencies. I'm not doing, but I will let you know, like, you got X amount of time to let your wife know or let your husband know before I let them know. Because now that you've shared it with me, there's no way in the world I cannot share it, because
now I'm an accessory.
Now I'm an accessory to the crime. And if I hold that water, I got some splaining to do to my wife, because I consider this. Look, I'm a Mike Tomlin guy. The standard is the standard, right? So the standard is the standard when it comes to marriage, comes to the covenant. And if I expect my marriage to hold, to bear a certain standard, and if I make an exception to even just allow, like, to not say something, then I got to answer to you. Then I know that you're going to look at me differently. And I can't afford for you or my daughters or anybody else to look at me differently, because you're going to be like, well, at what point what about you made you think it was okay not to say something?
Well, I mean, I don't know that. So here,
I know all the listeners are like, that dude is a snitch. Don't tell him nothing.
But I mean, like you said, we share everything, right? I don't know that I would look at you differently if you did not tell the spouse, because I don't know what your relationship is with the spouse. And I say that because I also know that a lot of times the person who tells, there's a falling out with that person. Because if you told, I'll just use Roger and Tressa, for example. If Roger told you that he was cheating and you told Tressa might get mad at you and you guys have a falling out, right?
She would get mad at me for telling her that her husband?
Well, because
first off, hey, that ain't the case.
No, it's not. But I'm saying I've been in situations where I'm trying to look, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. And then the person denied it. And now the person that I told is pissed off at me, broken off friendship or whatever. So, I mean, it would just really depend. And I say Roger and Tressa are not a good example, because you have a relationship with Tressa and Roger. Someone who you didn't have a relationship with, their spouse. I don't know that. I mean, I'd be disappointed in the person.
Yeah, well, I hope my integrity, entered the room long before I do, and my reputation or what have you. But I know they're like, what are they even talking about now? They're like all over the place.
We are all over the place. But no, I mean, these are just, and I'm sorry to mean to interrupt you, but these are just part of the, not just collateral damages, but these are just part of
the complexities
that happen when there's one situation. There's always, some Venn diagrams here, there, or whatever. It's not just clear, straight cut, right?
So, and there's a lot. So it's like, it's funny. It's like It is. It's as clear as mud.
Yeah.
The one thing we know is that
I
it's
like
wrong.
that.
Right. But with our conversation, even now, even being captured for the podcast, being all over the place as it pertains to infidelity and how to deal with it, and the ripple effect and the collateral damage and the friendships and the accountability and all of that. There's so much that goes into this to where it brings it back to the root that we need to figure out a way to make sure that it just doesn't happen.
So I feel like, and I'm always going to stick to and
just say no.
No, well, I'm saying don't cheat, but it's not just, I know that it's not just that easy, but if you feel like I said before, I'm going down that path, do everything that you can to maintain some integrity with the people who it's going to affect. That's my point. If we can't work this out, and I feel like I'm compelled to be with this person over here or whatever, I'm going to do what I can to make sure that the people that are at home, the innocent bystanders or whatever, are protected in some kind of way. That's how I feel.
No, I get that. And it's easy to say that when we're sitting in these
Of course
two chairs.
it's easy to say that right now because nothing like that is happening.
And when we sit here, when we're sitting here, we have the ability to exercise a high level of emotional intelligence.
Exactly.
Because there's no emotion, there's no eros.
Right.
This is pure logos. This is pure logic that's going on right now. But when somebody's in the thralls of it, does somebody have, you're assuming that everybody has the same emotional intelligence to where they can be like, I'm about to create some serious damage and some collateral damage. Let me actually create a buffer between me and the children and my wife and da-da-da-da.
But I feel like that's kind of what you asking, that how do we prevent that block? You're asking an impossible question then. If I'm giving not impossible answer, but an answer that doesn't make sense for you, I feel like your question is impossible because you're saying, how do we? Because we do it logically. And if I'm not in logical mind, I'm not going to be logical about the way that I move. If I'm in my passion, if I'm in my feelings, I'm moving in my feelings. Whenever you're in your feelings, you're not logical most of the time.
You're right. That's fair. That's fair. This is one of those things where it's going to be continued. I don't know that we'll revisit this, but I think it begs the discussion in everyone's home, in everyone's marriage. Just all these different scenarios, all these different things. Not that you're ever in danger, but it's just one of those things that, what would you do? I'm not saying the whole, what would Jesus do? What would James do?
Lord.
It was
But
Michael Jr. joke. But because this is at the forefront and it's been brought out, and it comes up time and time again when it's, people that are out there in celebrity land or what have you. But I think that we should start thinking about emergency preparedness plans for your marriage.
So I feel like this is a good, it's very unfortunate for that thing to have happened, right? Especially when you're talking about the innocent bystanders, the collateral damage. But as a couple, I feel like this could be a learning type of situation to where we have a conversation like, what would make you do something like that? What is missing in our relationship? This is where the check-in comes in, right?
Correct.
Are we good? Do you feel like you're not getting your nutrients in your soil at home? Are you feeling like there might be some better, some better lawn stuff somewhere else or whatever? I don't know. But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like this is a good teaching moment maybe for other couples who are not actually going through this. So you said, how do we prevent it? This is how we prevent it before it actually happens. So let's talk about it. Are you feeling some kind of way about our relationship? What can I do better? How can I be a better spouse? How can I be whatever it is? So this opens up, and we have to make sure that we're keeping the space safe.
True.
Because whatever it is that I say to you
Can't be weaponized.
it cannot be weaponized. I could weaponize now. I'm playing. But no, I feel, you know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. It's a conversation catalyst.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you for using the word.
Just creating a spark. Not that it's going to happen, but it's like, what can we do to make sure? Look, we get insurance for a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for your car, your life, medical, pet. There's no such thing as marriage insurance.
Mm-mm.
I know at one time I did, my brother-in-law and I were trying to, can we create marriage insurance? Is there a way to actually come up with a product, you know?
This marriage insurance is called a prenup.
It's called living in California.
Right.
No, but the best marriage insurance is to ensure it's communication, conversation, having these conversation
Honesty,
catalysts.
authenticity, you know.
Being crazy, being more compassionate,
Mm-hmm.
real,
Mm-hmm.
accountable,
Mm-hmm.
zealous, and yielding when it comes to having these types of conversations.
Right. Seriously, because talking about it and being open and being honest will probably save a lot of heartache if we're honest, if we're open, if we're listening. Because I could be open and honest and talking to you and you not hear me. I'm just keep it real. Year 4, we weren't hearing each other. So while I'm speaking, you got to listen and hear me. Same thing for you.
I'm year 4. Missed my opportunity.
Wow. But same goes the same way. You know what I mean? So I just think that this is something that couples can sit down and not bash the others that did what they did, but find ways to make sure that this doesn't happen in your home.
So a couple of things. For those of you that are listening right now and you think that, you know, if we didn't lose you and you're still here listening to the conversation.
Why would we lose them? This was good stuff.
Share this with somebody that you think could benefit from the conversation, that needs a conversation catalyst, that you think would find this intriguing, that would find it, you know, like food for thought. And quite honestly, if there's individuals out there that have actually survived this, that have gone through infidelity, that have actually had some challenges and you survived it, you know, we'd love to hear how you actually managed that storm, how you navigated it. Mm-hmm. Reach out to us at coaching@marriedintocrazy.com. Or you can just go to our website, reach out to us through there, or just go directly via email, coaching@marriedintocrazy.com, or hit us up on any of the social media, the different things that you're going to see, and let us know how you weathered it. And if you're interested in actually being a guest on the show, and you're willing to be open and honest, and it's not going to cause any strife in your relationship, I think we'd be honored to have you on, because then it would be an opportunity to help other couples that might be weathering the same type of storm.
Right.
This is real life. These are the things that transpire. And if we can actually do anything, this is what this whole podcast is about. If we have an opportunity to help other people get through things, that's the whole purpose for this. If we could sit here and talk about all the wonderful, nice, wonderful, pretty things about marriage, I don't know that it would hold as much value. Marriage is amazing. The covenant is absolutely wonderful.
You better say that.
But it doesn't come without challenges.
Anyway, for those of you who cannot see him, he's nodding his head at me.
But so hopefully, you know, share this with somebody. We hope you got a lot of it. Go over to marriedintocrazy.com. This is the part we forgot to say in the very beginning. Go over to marriedintocrazy.com. Look at all the different ways that we bless marriages, right? And start to utilize the Married Into Crazy app. You can find it on Google Play as well as the Apple App Store. There's different levels that you can get involved and enjoy and participate in our coaching. You can see all the different things that are offered there. But even on our website, you can actually see a lot of different things there, as well as clothing gear and so forth. But we encourage you to do that. But wherever you're listening to us or watching us, please hit subscribe, hit share, and get this out to all of your friends and family that can benefit from the conversation as well. Mm-hmm. We have a great interview coming up in a couple of weeks. I can't wait to introduce you to this amazing couple. We hope that you're enjoying the interviews that you've been seeing. We're getting some phenomenal feedback regarding like the Matthews, because that was a very unique conversation, unique story that they had. So we're excited to bring you more of those as well, and some other subject matter experts. We've got a lot of people lined up for you for the remainder of the year, and we hope to be able to bring it to you this year. And if not, it'll just bleed over into next year. And we have some really interesting series that are coming up as well. So
so also I think we said it last time, but save the date. We put it out there. February 6th and 7th for the 2026 Winter Ball and Conference. Those are the dates. I'm sorry, February 6th and 7th. So make sure you save that date so that you all can get your tickets.
Put it on the calendar. Sacramento, California, at the Light Christian Church. The contracts are being signed. The speakers have all been selected, so it's going to be a great time. I'm not going to announce it yet. We'll be making announcements in the relative near future, but definitely set on your calendar. Last year, everyone had a phenomenal time. Dr. Eric Thomas was our surprise keynote speaker, and we've got a few other surprises up our sleeve for this upcoming year. It won't be a surprise once I actually announce it, but
Right.
But mark the calendar. Come out beginning of Marriage Week, February 6th and 7th to Sacramento, California, so you can be a participant, and you're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Right.
Until the next time.
Be blessed.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. Please like, subscribe to, and review the show wherever you access it, and tell a friend about us. Visit marriedintocrazy.com and see how Snooks and Lovey can bless your marriage directly.